Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I am Nadira Riandani and I'm from 5BD. In this video, I would like to present you about hypothesis in research methodology subject. I will explain about the definition of hypothesis, the characteristic of hypothesis, types of hypothesis, and developing hypothesis. Now I will begin with the definition according to the experts. Good and Skates, 1954, said that the hypothesis is an estimate that is formulated and accepted for a while and can explain facts or conditions that are observed and used as a guide for further steps. And Dentist 2012 stated that a hypothesis is a presumption or assumption that must be tested through data or fact obtained through research. Generally, hypothesis is set forth as an explanation for the occurrence of some specified group of phenomena, either asserted merely as a professional conjecture to guide investigation or accepted as highly probable in the light of established facts. To make it simple, hypothesis is an idea that can be tested. Here are the characteristics of hypothesis. It should be clear and precise to consider to be reliable, stating the relationship between variable, specific, and there is scope for conducting more tests, simple explanation, and also easy to understand. We move on to types of hypothesis. There are directional hypothesis, non-directional hypothesis, null hypothesis, and alternative hypothesis. I will explain about the directional and non-directional hypothesis first. Directional hypotheses are those where can predict the direction and it will change, also will be caused by specific variable. It is commonly based on previous experiment. We can take a look to the example. Girls perform are better than a boys. Words better than show the direction is predicted, while non-directional hypotheses are those where doesn't predict the kind of effect but can state the relationship between variable 1 and variable 2. For example, there will be the difference in the performance of boys and girls, but it is not predicted yet who performs that are the better one. Now, I will continue to null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. For null hypothesis is a statistical hypothesis in which there is no significant difference exists between the set of variables, and it is often represented by HO or H0. We can see from the example, there will no difference in the performance of boys and girls. Word no show null hypothesis, while alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant difference between the set of variables. It is often denoted by H1. For example, there is the difference in the performance of boys and girls. Alternative hypotheses are those where surely proven that variables have that difference. I will move on to developing thesis. These are the steps to make a good hypothesis. The first step is ask a question. Writing a hypothesis begins with a research question. The question should be focused, specific, and researchable. For example, what are the health benefits of eating orange in a day? The second step is do some preliminary research. Your initial answer to the question should be based on what is already known about the topic. Should look for theories and previous studies. For example, oranges are high in vitamin C that good for our immune system. The third is formulate the hypothesis. Write your initial answer to the question in clear, concise sentence. For example, daily orange consumption will prevent the disease. And then the fourth, refine the hypothesis. Need to make sure that it is important to make sure that hypothesis is specific and testable. There are various ways of phrasing a hypothesis, but all the terms you use should have clear definition, and the hypothesis should contain the relevant variable, specific group, and predicted outcome. You can see from the example, relevant variable are orange consumption and disease. The specific group is in over 60, and the predicted outcome is will prevent. The fifth is praise the hypothesis. We can use if-then form. For example, if people over 60 consume an orange in daily, then they will prevent the disease. The next one is correlation or effect. Praise in terms of correlation or effect, where we can directly state the predicted relationship between variables. For example, daily orange consumption by people over 60 will result in decreased frequency of people who have the disease. Also, we can use comparison. For example, people over 60 who consume an orange in daily less frequently sick than those who don't. And the last one is write the hypothesis based on the types. For this hypothesis, I took null hypothesis. So, because null hypothesis is default position that there is no association between the variable. For example, daily orange consumption in over 60 will have no effect to prevent the disease. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.